morning to all of you. It is Tuesday morning. It is already August 5th, just after 10 o'clock in the morning. And as you just saw and heard, this is an NBC 10 coffee break. I'm coming live to you from my home. Gene was not with me last week. He is not with me this week because he is on vacation and he's enjoying some well-earned time off. I did talk to him yesterday. He called me from California, and they're having a great time. He was hitting Disneyland of all things, so good luck to him there. The crowds. But he is back to work in a couple of days, and in fact, he's covering RIPTA and other stories with Acid DOT and everything on Thursday, his usual day on PRO Radio as well with Peter Alvidi and the other folks there. So in the meantime, I'm going to hit today's top story and then welcome in Jason Doris again. Jason, even though I know you can hear me, Mario could not get your name right this morning. I promise I will hear. The big story of the day, until we get to Jason, though, is jury selection beginning in a very famous case. This is the felony rape cases against Nicholas Alahverdian. Brian Crandall won an Emmy for his reporting on this story because it's so complex, and Brian really got to the heart of it. So according to all the reports, there he is, Nicholas Alahverdian, faked his own death in Rhode Island, and then he took off for Scotland. This was actually the subject of a Dateline NBC story as well. He was found alive in Scotland during the pandemic, and then the charges were brought against him. He's facing rape charges in two different cases, one in Salt Lake City County and then in another in Utah County. Here in Rhode Island, he was known as rather a fierce advocate for children who were in foster care, and then things got really muddled up. His apparent death from cancer was announced during the pandemic year in 2020, and he was memorialized on the State House floor for that. Then everything kind of fell apart. He was actually living in the UK under a different name. The name is Arthur Knight, and it was back in 2022. He spoke with NBC 10's Brian Crandall, still denying his identity. Take a listen.
A lot of information about Nicholas Alahverdian for someone who is not him. I know you're just trying to prove that you're not him, but you seem to care a lot about his case and clearing his name.
No, when you are being accused of an individual, you need to know everything about this man.
All right, so that's just part of the interview that Brian landed with Alahverdian. And again, won him some awards because it was really great reporting. Alahverdian finally dropped the charges back in October, months before he was extradited to Utah, and authorities are now saying that DNA evidence does indeed confirm his identity. So like I mentioned, Dateline NBC, I used to be a producer there years ago, did a special report on this. I think it was one of their most watched shows. So more on that as well as we pay attention to this. So the headline for today is that jury selection is beginning today in day one of the felony rape cases against Nicholas Alahverdian. So, of course, we'll be covering that for you on NBC 10 and our digital channels and turnto10.com. In the meantime, I want to head on over to Jason Doris with a look at the forecast. I'm looking outside here, my window. Jason, it's a little cloudy out there, a little hazy, a little muggy, but not too bad. Are you recovering after Mario called you AJ and Christina all morning long?
Yeah, I'm all confused myself. I don't even know who I am nowadays.
I'm telling you, we're having a day. Good morning.
Yeah, it's all right. Good morning, Allison. I've so many nicknames growing up. I'll answer basically anything. But yeah, that is right, though. We can clearly see the hazy skies behind me once again. This is all because of that Canadian wildfire smoke that is basically blanketing the Northeast. The good news about today's smoke and the big difference compared to yesterday is the concentrations at the surface are not quite as high as what we saw, and we're anticipating to remain a little bit finer or more decent condition overall. Still not obviously pristine because there's all this fine particles in the atmosphere, but it shouldn't really be impacting anyone besides extreme rare cases and people with respiratory issues and stuff like that. But the concentrations at the surface will continue to kind of diminish as we go through the day, as we have a bit more of a northeast wind that picks up, and that'll push all the smoke into Connecticut. But we're still going to have the hazy skies because there's no winds really aloft to kind of push the smoke that's kind of filtering out this sunshine. So we're going to continue to have that in place along with some additional cloud cover too. That's going to be the story for tomorrow as well. More smoky haze, a little bit more cloud cover, some cooler temperatures, and east wind, which is very cool for the summer months and a little bit abnormal. And then we go into Thursday. That's when we're going to start to see this smoke hopefully thin out a little bit more. And if that trend continues, it really should lead into what will be a beautiful weekend where we're expecting at least some mostly sunny skies and some real comfortable conditions. So over the next couple of days, really, besides the smoke filtering out the sunshine, is going to be a nice dry stretch and also comfortable outside if you do want to get out and enjoy a little bit of this now that we can, because we don't have that issue with the air quality with regards to this smoke, Allison.
Okay, Jason, thank you. Yeah, I was in Vermont over the weekend and you could really feel the smoke.
Oh, yeah.
Wildfires up there. Yeah, pushing from Canada in through the
Mhm.
northern part of the state. So, yeah, it wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible either. We're lucky here in
Yes,
Rhode Island,
absolutely. Yeah.
in Vermont. All right, Jason, thanks so much. I'll see you later. By the way, he's getting married this weekend, so congratulations to you as well.
Thank
All right,
you so
I wanna
much.
talk about this. I know, I'm excited for you. It's great. You're gonna have a great weekend. Newport Creamery. This is the awful story we've been talking about. Being forced out of Garden City. I was telling Mario this morning that I had no idea that they had been there more than 60 years. I didn't know that the Garden City shopping complex, which is not far from our studios in Channel 10, is that old. I had no idea. I mean, it's had many rebirths since, but here we are. Newport Creamery is being forced out of Garden City, lease not being renewed after more than 6 decades. The local restaurant chain is known, of course, for their awful waffles, kind of like a milkshake. Garden City is not renewing the lease. It will close in 18 months. We have another year and a half here at this location. So if you're used to going for breakfast there, you're going to have to find another location. There's 10 or 12 other locations around the state, but this one's really a fixture. A spokesperson for the chain says that they're, quote, very disappointed with the decision. There have been rumors for years that an Apple store may move into Garden City. Now, I'm just going to say, I don't think a lot of people will be against that, because right now the only Apple store you can go to is in the Providence Place Mall. And I know for me, I've gone there before, but I'll also sometimes go up to Dedham and Legacy Place just to avoid the parking in the mall. So I don't know, maybe it'll work out in Garden City. But a lot of people are pretty angry that Newport Creamery is getting bumped up and out, if that is the case, being replaced by Apple, but we don't know that. We did ask about whether or not Apple would take Newport Creamery's place, a spokesperson for the company, telling our producers that, quote, no new tenant has been signed. So, it takes months to negotiate with new tenants before anything is signed. So we don't even know if they're in discussions yet, but we will pay attention to that story. Okay, this story really grossed me out this morning. Just going to put it out there. This was that big lizard. I can't even look at this video. I cannot. It's just, ew. The big lizard that escaped a home in Massachusetts is now living in a reptile sanctuary where it belongs, I'll add, in Beverly, Massachusetts. So that's way north of Boston. It's a water monitor. It's nicknamed Goose, and it was on the run at Webster for about 2 weeks. The Department of Conservation and Recreation thought it would be easier to catch. It wasn't. This guy was like all over the place. There were sightings in Douglas, then in Thompson, Connecticut. And finally on Saturday, officers were able to figure out where Goose was hiding. Here they are.
In the woods, and after a short amount of time, we were able to find the animal. And the reason that we couldn't find it for several days is it actually went under a root in a tree within 15 feet of the area. So after a bit of time looking into the matter, we figured out the best way to try and get the animal out. We tried several attempts with hard-boiled eggs and things of that nature. Finally, we had put out a couple of pieces of chicken. Basically had an opening about this big, put 2 catch poles there. And when he came through, it was pretty surreal to do so, and we managed to catch him.
Oh, this is a big story, though, believe it or not. So in the business, we talk about the mic flags, which are on microphones. Channel 7 from Boston there, CBB Channel 5 there, NBC 10 Boston there, BZ, Fox. We even had a mic flag that I saw in that shot from Connecticut. So this is a big story up and down the East Coast, apparently. So Webster Police, it's kind of a rural area, eventually gave the owner a non-criminal citation. It is illegal, by the way, to have a water monitor without a permit in Massachusetts. Okay, even though I'm not like a huge fan, I'm glad it's okay. Just for the record, just glad it's okay. All right. I love Jake Gyllenhaal. Just going on the record there. He's one of my favorite actors, and he is in Rhode Island. They are wrapping this up. It's lights, camera, action, if you will, in Bristol, Rhode Island. Final scenes of a movie called Remain are being filmed this week. Filming continues today in the town common. We're told they'll wrap everything up by Wednesday, so by tomorrow. And the project has been spotted filming all over Rhode Island at this point. Like a lot of filming, I believe, was up in Patchett too. Spectators say they're amazed at watching really how much work goes into one thing. It's kind of opposite of local news where we are grinding it out all day. Sometimes they'll spend hours setting up for just one short scene. Take a listen.
the amount of people it takes, like the behind the scenes, you know. So yeah, it's something we've never seen, so it's neat. Yeah.
I've been an extra before, so I know they spend hours setting up for a 30-second clip, or maybe even 15 seconds, and I'm just like fascinated.
Yeah, so of course it's a grind to set everything up for hours on end for a couple of scenes, couple of seconds, couple of minutes. And news, we kind of roll and go. So different types of grind, I suppose. Remain is the name of the movie. It's in a collaboration with Nicholas Sparks, and the movie, which stars Jake Gyllenhaal, is being described as kind of a supernatural love story. And the book is expected to come out in October, and we're expecting the movie to come out next year. So that's pretty exciting news too. You know, a lot of movies are being filmed more and more right now because of the tax credits that the state gives to production companies. And a lot of people say that's why they want to film movies here. And also the film office is supposed to be pretty easy to work with. And Rhode Island's a beautiful state. So they have all kinds of different varieties of places, urban, suburban, rural, coastal, that they can film in. Of course, we know the Gilded Age has been filming in Newport as well.
Our
All right,
guest
so those are
this
some of
week,
your
Al,
headlines.
on
Yeah,
10 News
Dan.
Conference is Steve Feinberg from the Rhode Island
Oh!
Film and TV office. So we will be
There you
talking all
go.
about it this weekend on 10 News.
Yeah,
Conference.
Steve's.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. And Steve, Dan, first of all, we need a camera on you. It's like the voice of God. But yes, Dan, Steve has been in that office for how long?
Very long time.
Long time.
And
Yeah,
he's
long time.
brought a lot of big productions to the state.
He really has. And
Mm.
do credit to him because it's
Yes.
really important for our, the industry up here and tourism and everything. So it's good to see that coming. All right. So Gene's going to talk to him on 10 News Conference.
That is correct. This weekend,
Perfect.
5:30 on Saturday, 11:30.
See how I set that up for you?
Yes.
Full service news anchor here for you, Dan. All right, it's been a kind of a busy morning. Mario and I did not sleep well, in full disclosure, last night. So we were like tripping up on stuff this morning. So we'll be better tomorrow. But yeah, there's a lot going on. I know he had food trucks coming. So that's on Studio 10 later today. And then, of course, the news is back in the traditional sense at 4 o'clock. The story of the day, as I've been mentioning, is Nicholas Alahverdian and jury selection for some of his cases. It's really an international story at this point. I'm a little sick of the story, but it's an international story nonetheless. And we do want to pay attention to it. Anything else, Dan? Anything I'm missing? Is he with me still? I think we've gotten to everything for the most part. Hot and hazy day. Oh, his mic died. There we go. He's just chatting with me. This is how it goes in digital news. Hot and hazy day. Turn to 10.com for more stories that are going to upload each and every day. There you are. And we'll see you right here again next week. Gene will be back with me. And a reminder that that RIPTA story keeps unfolding and unfolding, unfolding. I spoke with the executive director of Grow Smart Rhode Island, Scott Wolf. I believe he's going to be speaking with Gabrielle later this week. In addition to, I encouraged him to call into Gene's show on WPRO to also talk to Alvidi about potential cuts to some of the routes. What does that mean? He did say to me, he does not believe this is a leadership problem with RIPTA, but instead it's a funding problem. They need more money to fund more routes. So I don't know. We'll see. I know Gene's on the other end of the whole debate. He says he sees a lot of empty buses. Scott has the data, though, to say that's not the case. So they're going to kind of battle it out, if you will, if Scott calls in, as I encouraged him to do to Gene's show on Thursday. So that's it for now. As Gene likes to say, ciao for now. And then I'll be back bright and early, 4:30 in the morning, all the way through 7 o'clock tomorrow morning with the Sunrise team. Thanks for logging in. And thanks, as always, for turning to 10.